I'm sure all of you have at some point heard of Masdar City, which is located in Abu Dhabi. It's a sustainable urban development which is known worldwide, and it's especially known for the strong emphasis on sustainability and renewable energy. It was established back in 2006, and the goals include achieving zero carbon and zero waste status. The city incorporates, of course, renewable energy sources such as solar power and encourages sustainable transportation with a focus on green building practices. Despite some challenges along the way, of course, as any other big major project of that scale, which is a citywide scale, it is still a hub for innovation and for environmental friendly practices and buildings. This is exactly why we decided that basically the best hub for this approach of smart integration between BIM and GIS would be the application in Masdar City itself. Now, regarding the research scope and how that, basically asking that question of how can the integration of GIS and BIM contribute to a smart urban planning in Masdar City? And what are the technical aspects? How can we connect to the sustainability aspect? How can we make it a true centralized single source of true information? We also need to ask the question, what is the purpose behind all of that? The purpose is achieving something usable by all parties, something that is efficient to use. Usually we have, for example, on the left-hand side here, as you can see, this is just a representation or an illustration of how any 3D model would act and react. It is still a 3D model. It has some accuracy to its geometry, but it has limited amount of data because it's just a 3D model. On the right-hand side, we have the BIM models, which are of great use, but still we cannot really, first of all, it needs technical expertise to be fully used to its full potential. Second of all, there's always a compromise when it comes to the performance while operating on these models. So our aim is to find a sweet spot between these two, where we can have the essence of both combined into a single platform, as we're saying, where enough amount of information is to be utilized by whoever wants to utilize it. And there's an accurate graphical representation for whatever we are viewing. It is light and easy to use. It's easily accessible with access restrictions, of course. The smart map and the integration workflow, as I was saying in the previous slide, it is basically, we're having these two separate worlds, the BIM world and the GIS world, with its own data for each, of course. Where you can see here on the left-hand side, the data is being fed back and forth in a bi-directional way between the BIM on a separate level and on the GIS on a separate level. Then both on the second layer would interact together. Of course, again, bi-directionally. The data is being read bi-directionally from one side to the other, and not in a fully manual way. There's a connection from the GIS map to the BIM 360 map. And then which would eventually form the centralized smart map that we're looking to achieve.
So this slide is showing the proposed data governance model that we have developed for the GIS BIM integration. And this model actually is the foundation of how we're going to build our data for the GIS BIM integration. And it includes many important components that we need to build and maintain. For example, you have to define the owner of the data, for whom you're going to take your data and build your database. You need to define the life cycle. So you need to have procedure and process, how the data going to move from the owner to the guy who gonna process it, to the end user. So you need to have a life cycle for each data that you're gonna take it from the owners. Also, you need to have a data catalog that shows what kind of data you have in your system. For example, in GIS, we have the transportation layers, we have master plan layers, we have infrastructure layers. So you need to list all these data that you have in your systems. And also you need to have a data quality, so you show your information as well. In the GIS and the BIM, we have to maintain its quality by ensuring the accuracy of the information and make sure it's up-to-date information. Also, this information needs to be stored in a machine that is secured, and also you need to maintain the privacy of this data. So when you have all of these built and developed, then you can start sharing your data to the platform and build it and share it with the users. So what you are seeing now is the Smart Map platform, and basically a Smart Map present an advanced platform. Effectively, it's blending the BIM and the GIS together for urban development. And actually, this platform consists of three main layers. First one is the master plan data. Secondly is the BIM models for design and construction models. Thirdly is the 3D drone scanning, which what you are seeing right now in the screen. Uh,
It is worth
and
to
let me,
mention, I think, sorry
yeah,
to
please.
interrupt,
No,
Nasir,
go
to
ahead, please.
everyone,
Yeah,
that whatever you see here was developed from scratch. So it was a mix of a bit of visual programming, which is a tool within Esri itself. Correct, Nasir? You had that capabilities
yes,
inside the
yeah,
software.
yeah, yeah,
And a bit of coding, which was required to restrict accesses, some very specifics that needed to be done. The interface in general is fully customizable. We can deduct or add whatever we want when it comes to tools, tabs, bars here and there. Everything is customizable, and this is basically our approach to it, how we were dividing.
right, right.
Go ahead, Nasser. Maybe you can now
Yeah,
start showing
please.
the
Yeah,
main tabs.
exactly. So what makes our platform special is that you have many tools that you can use them. And one of these tools, you can control the visibility of the layers that we have them on the screen right now. So if I go to the left side bar, I can open it from here. And then you can see that all the layers that I just mentioned them are here. So first group layer are the master plan data. And if you click here, you can see all the layers are the one under the master plan group layer. You have the digital twin under review and digital twin under construction. Those are the BIM models. We put them under two groups. And you have the 3D city scan, which represent the drone scanning, what you're seeing right now. Let me start showing you the master plan data. So I can start with the land use layers, which represent the use of each land. So if I switch on, this is the legend of the map, and then you can see the plots showing in the 3D right now. And as you know, that each one of these plots, they are associated with a table that contain information about each plot. For example, the plot number, the owner of the plots, the
Which
area,
relates back
GFA.
to the data
Yes,
governance scheme that
exactly.
we displayed. Correct,
Yeah,
Nasser? This is how we are
yeah,
feeding
exactly. Correct.
information and
Exactly.
controlling information.
Exactly.
It's not just feeding.
Exactly. Also, you have different layers. For example, you have the Masdar City boundary, so you can see the boundary that is surrounding Masdar City. So Masdar City consists of, it's basically 6 kilometers square. I can switch it on. I can switch on the curb lines so that you can see the future curb lines on top of the 3D scanning. If I zoom in more, you can see them appearing now. And you can see that they are following the topography of the 3D drone scanning. So if it goes here, it goes like this. And
It
then you
is
can turn
mostly
it
just
off.
to reflect
Yeah,
accuracy when it comes to planning, or when it
exactly.
comes, for example, to the facility management teams. These measurements are
Exactly.
really required in the future.
Exactly. So we just showed you the 3D drone scanning and the master plan data. So basically, a 3D drone scanning and master plan. It shows. The 3D scanning is showing you the existing assets on the site, but the BIM model is going to show you the future of the future projects and developments in Masdar City. So maybe we can start by showing the projects that are under construction, the BIM models
Yes,
under
yes.
construction. So you can go to the right side here in the sidebar, you can click it, and then it's going to show you a bookmark, and there's a navigation tool at the bottom here where you can scroll between different models. Let
So
me
our
just move
approach
this one
was to
here.
simplify. We wanted to simplify. You
Yeah,
have all of the layers
yeah,
combined on the left-hand side of the
exactly,
main categories and subcategories, but the most important things we have put them on the right-hand side, so you can actually go through them one by one, which are the under construction models.
exactly. And these pictures on the right side are dynamic. So the first BIM model in the construction is that one showing here. So if I click on it, it's gonna zoom in automatically to the site, and it's gonna show the BIM the future. Development building.
So we can see right now how it
Within the business.
interacts the
Exactly.
actual scanned from the drones and the BIM models that is going to be built in the future. Actually, if you even before loading it, if you go to that site, you will see the cranes there ready, which was already scanned by the drone. So now, as
Yeah.
you can see, like it is generating the model. Of course, as we said before, we were trying to find the sweet spot of balance between the necessary information and the aesthetics of the models to be shown and the performance, because these are huge models. Like the total of this would be around 1 to 1.5 gigs. So we had to always fine tune that to find that sweet spot.
Exactly. Actually, it was a challenge to bring all these BIM models to the website, because first step you have to bring this BIM model to the GS, and those are very heavy models. Like if you show one of these BIM models in the BIM environment, it's so heavy to rotate them. So imagine if you want to bring all these BIM models to
Exactly,
our
on a
to an
citywide,
online
on a
platform.
citywide level.
So
Yeah.
we had to go through some optimization steps to make them move very fast. For example, this model what we are showing now here, it consists of 88,000 elements. So that's why it's so detailed model. Like
And
everything is
yet,
have been
to
designed.
note that we did not sacrifice any sort of data to reach that performance. So we still have the information. Nasser, if you click on the PV panels or any element that
Okay, let me click on PV panels here on the top.
So we didn't really, we kept the balance of keeping the needed parameters for some disciplines, some teams that will use these elements in the future. It was still kept. The optimization was done mostly through the models themselves, not through parameters. So purging, and we had some automated Dynamo scripts to make sure everything is cleaned. For example, CAD imports, the approach to modeling families, the correctness of how to model these families within Revit. And then after that, of course, we needed to pick and choose kind of what is needed and for whom. For example, here you can notice that MEP models are not loaded, and this is intentional. We were choosing what to load and when to load it. We can control all of that. Nasser, maybe you can maneuver to maybe the park and the gym where we can show them how two future projects. So now we're seeing how the existing and the future interact. Now we will see how two future projects are interacting with the site, which, as you can all imagine, I'm sure how useful this would be. Like we're talking about two projects interacting with the surroundings and interacting with each other.
So this is the EcoGym I mean, this is the EcoGym project, and in the back is the park project. Now it's loading. So two BIM models are loading at the same time. This is the strength of the Smart Map platform.
Maybe you can zoom out a little bit
BIM models.
also, Nasir, so you can show them the scale of the park, for example.
Okay, you can see those are the trees.
Yeah, zoom out, please, if you can.
Okay, zoom out. You want to see? Okay.
Yeah, to show the entire scale of the park. A bit more, like on a city.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're seeing how the park and the gym and the future gym, future park and gym, and the site, which is through the satellite imagery and extending to the building from the 3D drone scan, everything is interacting together. And you can still cascade layers. For example, Nasser, can you please show them how you can cascade the master plan layers? For example, if you open now the land use.
Okay, so let me open the land use now.
Of course, we need to give it a bit of time. We're loading many models all together. And regarding that, we have tested also, as we were saying, like the exact spot where we need to be. And after optimization, we reached the optimum of around 1 minute to 80 seconds maximum for the BIM model to be loaded, regardless of the size. So this was like the optimum we could reach, maintaining all of the data that we needed. As you can see now, you can see all layers interact together. So you have the 3D boxes that you see now are representing, the cubes are representing the land use based on the layer, of course. With the legends, you can see it, interacting with the futuristic projects and with existing projects, and maybe also switch on the curb lines. Let's try to throw everything together.
So basically, you are seeing the existing asset and the future development together at the same time.
So you can imagine now how this tool can be used by many people. By this, first of all, this is decision making on a high level. Second of all, facility management, operations teams. Third of all, planning teams, design teams. All of these people can interact together in this map and extract whatever is needed for them specifically for their needs.
Exactly.
In addition to that, of course, we have developed some set of tools which might be useful to the user. Nasir, can you please illustrate that on maybe the link project?
Yeah, sure.
This is one of the key projects now in Masdar City, by the way.
So I can turn off the EcoGym on Masdar Park.
Yeah, as you can see, it's as easy as what Nasir is doing right now. He's flipping through layers on and off, deciding what you want to keep on, and then.
Yeah. So I can now start using the Slicing tool from here.
Yeah, we have three tools. We have the daylight tool, line of sight, and the slice. The slice, I think, would be the most important because it works just like sectioning through a building, vertical and horizontal.
Yep. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so this is the horizontal slicing.
Yeah.
So you can see now. Can rescale it a bit. And you can see
And you
now
can see how adaptive and quick it is. There's no loading time. There's nothing. It just works smoothly. You can see also it interacts with whatever is crossing through that area. So we can exclude some layers. Exactly.
Yeah, I can click exclude. But then I can click anywhere on the top of the surface without the drone scan.
Since
And then
it's
you can
all grouped
exclude
into one layer.
See,
and now you can see how it is cutting only through the BIM model.
Yeah.
Maybe Nasir, go to the podium area where we show.
Yeah,
exactly.
Go here.
So now, as we said, you see two areas, one built already, one is a futuristic project that's under construction right now on site, and how they interact together, especially in this area where you have podiums, connected podiums.
And actually, this was a challenge in GIS because you are bringing different data from different environments, like the BIM coming from the Revit and the drone scanning coming from photogrammetry software, and you're putting all of this in one GIS environment. So fitting those and preserving the coordinate system and the accuracy of the positions, it was a challenge.
Exactly, georeferencing all of that to be on a single source was a bit of a tricky bit, but we managed to do it.
Yep. I can click re-analyze and I'm gonna remove the whole thing.
Yeah, you reset basically. You also have the usual measuring tool, which measures also through any surface.
You can use, I mean, this one.
Yeah, maybe you can throw some measurement here.
Yeah, see, you can measure anything here. Like you can go from here to the top of the building, so you can measure anything. Yeah, and you can do the same thing with the area as well. I mean, if you want.
Yeah, as long as the surface is as a planar surface, you can do that on areas, of course.
Exactly.
We can also display some other projects that we have running now in Masdar City. Maybe Nasir, we show them Masdar City Square, which is another key project.
Exactly. So you can just click here. You can going to take you to the Mc2 project.
You can see how easy maneuvering is throughout these models. So if you actually look into the 3D drone scan, you can see the location of everything, the already built slabs here and there, the concrete that's already finalized in some of the levels. And now we can see both interacting together. Nasir, maybe you can show them also the transparency feature.
Yeah, sure. So
While
basically you can go, I mean, zoom out a little bit, and then I can go to the Mc2 layer, this one, and then I can click on the 3 dots here, and then I can increase the transparency, as we see.
So in case
you can see
have
the
something,
side.
yeah, exactly, which is what we are seeing right now, and you want to kind of visualize better without having a section through them. Like just a high-level visualization on how is the construction going, where are we, almost are we on target? Of course, that data and the technical aspect of it can be loaded into the tables, and we can have it within a time slider. This is under development. It's already something we're thinking of. But visually, this is another way that we're using right now.
Exactly.
Of course, this entire platform, as we said, is always going to be something that's under development and further enhancements. We can have separate tabs on top, which is something we're thinking of. As of now, it's just something generic. For example, you can see the dashboard, the map, where we have 2D maps flat for specific type of users, where we have dashboarding, grouping specific sort of areas together and zones together. All of that is still under development. And as we said, it's something to always look up to and look to enhance. I believe after displaying all of that and going through it one by one, we indeed believe that this could be a fundamental step and a stepping stone, actually, to a fully fledged digital twin. As of now, we know that calling this a digital twin, even if you notice that we still have beta here and there, because we believe that this is some sort of a static digital twin. It still represents, of course, a bidirectional link with all of the models that we have, the drone scans, but it's not as dynamic as we intend it to be yet. But this is something, of course, because we have set the base for that. Now we can keep feeding information into this platform, whether through IoT sensors, more transportation layers, which are linked to the grid itself, command and control center linking to this platform. All of that is now like on the table because we have set this platform. And thank you so much. Thank you, Nasir.
Thank you, Ahmed.